This evening on It's Happening Out. Me Too comes out of the closet. New Ken doll becomes gay. Barbie gets a new girlfriend. LGBT becomes alphabet soup. Are our tribes out of control in the gay community? Special guest, trans activist Aaron Phoenix. Special guest, Cuban artist Santiago Hermes. Featuring C.A. Lopez. Napoleon Plays. Raul Vegas. DJ Diva, Power Infinity. And Al Ferguson.
We are coming from Wilton Manors, Florida, and welcome to It's Happening Out, America's first live gay talk show. We are a live show that deals with politics and current events and pop culture, especially gay pop culture, whimsical things, and more. Remember that this is a live show, so anything could happen and likely will. So we're going to have a really good time with it. We hope that you'll participate with us tonight as we have hundreds of media specialists around the United States that are going to lead chat rooms. You can participate as you're watching us on our main Facebook page and eventually our YouTube pages. You are able to comment right along with us. And we have a moderator in our chat room that will prompt conversation. We would like to remind you to like our fan page because you'll get lots of notices about things that are happening. And our moderator, Chris Warner, will be helping you tonight. Finally, we would ask you to share this broadcast right now on your personal page. Everyone in the bar and everyone around America and around the world that are watching us, we would like you to share us on your homepage. And by the way, last week you did. 106,000 people watched the first. So, tonight, you will notice, first, we have a guest host with us tonight, and that is Aaron Phoenix, a transgender activist, a community organizer, and a performance artist. Aaron, welcome to It's Happening Out.
Thank you, Al. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
What I do? Well, do you mean in the bedroom or do you mean in general?
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Okay, all right.
A lot from A.
I am a transgender advocate, activist, if you will. I'm also a performer, but I try to kind of focus my energy on helping the community and organizing the community towards good causes.
Excellent. Anybody knew of Aaron before?
Well, I most certainly am proud to say that Aaron and I go back. And one thing, well, Aaron, welcome. One thing about Aaron is Aaron speaks her truth, his truth. And as you notice, Aaron is a total crossroads of gender. Aaron has been a Queen of the Night, which is my competition in Tampa, Queen of the Night winner and an all-star, an amazing performer, intelligent, witty, sharp-tongued. This bitch is gonna tell it like it is, and I'm so glad that you're here.
Oh, I
welcome,
can't wait to
welcome,
let you
welcome. I know, girl.
Excellent.
Thank you.
One of the things that I have to tell you about Aaron, and we'll get more into this through the show, and you'll see much more. We're all keenly aware, and I think it's very important because when Aaron and I were talking earlier in the week about being a guest host, I said, I'm going to get the pronouns wrong. Mm-hmm. And Aaron said, well, that's okay. I've known Power for about 5 years, and she still gets all of the pronouns wrong.
As you just saw.
You just saw her do it. Now, the point of that, and why we are so happy you're here, is we want you to help us demystify what trans means.
Yes.
And through the course of our conversation, that's really, really important to us. So congratulations, the first trans person that I have ever known, frankly, and it's an easy title to win because we're America's first live gay talk show, and you're the first trans American as the first.
And And I know I'm not the only one that has about 1 million questions to make sure we get it right. We're not going to get it right today. It's going to be an ongoing conversation for a
Yes.
long time.
Exactly. And
Give it a few years.
I said to Aaron, we're going to probably be totally offensive and get it wrong, and you're going to correct us, and then we'll see where
Listen,
we go.
that's fine. That's fine. Please, by all means, I'd rather you offend me than be afraid of me.
Exactly.
Oh, a
exactly.
challenge.
Great. And challenge accepted by all of us. Right? Very good. Great. Next, we want to tell you about a special guest, and this is really, really an important moment. We show you, in terms of the pictures that you're seeing, Cuba's most famous painter, artist, is Santiago Hermes, and he is in studio here in Drink right now, painting. Santiago is from Cienfuegos, Cuba, and he came to national attention in the Pulse Memorial events. Santiago runs a community project of artists, performance artists, painters, etc., for young people and older people in Cienfuegos. And in that program, I brought many, many people to Cuba, and he met Eddie Sotomayor in Cienfuegos. And approximately 3 months after meeting Eddie, Eddie became one of the most famous names that was killed at Pulse. Pulse had a dramatic effect on the Cuban community and this artist, Santiago Hermes. Dramatic political events took place to have Cuba participate in the memorial and funeral for Eddie Sotomayor. And the Secretary of the State and Senator Bill Nelson of Florida personally got involved to grant an emergency visa for Santiago to come, to speak at his funeral and to walk in the candlelight vigil. We are thrilled tonight that we can bring Santiago back to America again, because he has painted a new series memorializing Pulse called Top Hat Eddie. And so we're thrilled that Santiago Hermes is with us tonight. Thank you, Santiago. Now, you all ready for what we're going to do here tonight in this talk show?
Yeah, not at all.
All right. Well, I have to tell you, the first one is a big one. Now, I ask you to stay with us. This is a tough one. The last week has been difficult for America in watching the judicial hearings of what went on with Dr. Ford and Kavanaugh. We're going to show you a short video synopsis of last week's show. Here we go. I want us to move on. But
I need to talk about this. Does anyone here have experience with anything under the umbrella of sexual assault? So at least 3 of us at this table do, and we're just brushing it off because of what has happened with Bill Cosby. This is the second topic today alone. We have Kavanaugh and we have Bill Cosby that are bringing up sexual assault issues in one sitting. And we're saying that at least 3 of us at this table have experience within it. Personally, I don't think it's about women, as you phrased in your comments. It's not us versus women. It's not men versus women. We currently all live right around the Wilton Manor scene, and there is a lot of what could be considered Me Too in this town. I lived here for 4 years, and I can say I understand what women go through in the rest of the country when they're young and attractive, just from catcalls to groping to that which is so much more and falls far beyond sexual assault. But to just move on from that as if it's not happening right here in our own community, or that it's not relevant to the gay community, is to just turn a blind eye where it is not.
A terrific point. I want to zero in on what you just revealed, which I did not know. 3 of you are saying 3 of us here are saying that we've been involved in sexual assault. Is that what I just heard?
Yes.
Yep.
Was it all male on male sexual assault?
No.
It was not.
No.
Anybody else want to comment on it?
My case was, yes.
I mean, my case was in my case it's been male on male and drag queens done tried it with me. Other girls.
You know,
Yes, I've been Me Too'd by the sisters too, girl.
I have Me Too by the sisters. We make light of a very serious subject, but I just want to tell you, who has not had this experience, I'm absolutely, honestly, I laugh at the joke, I'm absolutely flabbergasted at this moment that 3 people sitting right around me have had this Me Too experience, and I had no idea at all. And it makes me wonder, in this bar, in this community, everyone that's listening around the country, how many people are listening to this conversation going, Me Too, but they have not shared?
Yeah.
It's a powerful, powerful subject that we'll continue to talk about. We return to this because America was dramatically affected by Dr. Ford's testimony last week. You watched Facebook as thousands of women came out saying, I couldn't bring myself to talk about sexual assault. Harvey Weinstein was one thing. This is completely something else. It affects women, but we realized it really is not a women's issue, it is a humanity issue. And now we address it in a completely different way. It is very emotional because so many women are saying this week, why don't you believe me? Well, we want to begin the conversation in the gay community that we do. And it doesn't apply to just women, it applies to the men that participate in It's Happening Out. So we bring you back to this moment. Me Too comes out of the closet. Everybody?
I would like to draw attention to Napoleon. Napoleon, you're very emotional. Why? Tell us what you're thinking.
Well, power will tell it like it is. I did not want to go first. I hate being a cliche. I hate feeling things and saying things that have been stated to a point that you can't understand it, and I will have my note cards in hand for this. And you can read them on the back if you're following along, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. I know that I refused to acknowledge that I would use any of this segment as something, as a moment where I hadn't gotten to address it for myself. I didn't realize how much my own history through this movement, through this topic, I had not addressed at all. I tend to think of myself as a very self-aware person. But I realized yesterday I had to tell my mom not to watch today, and anyone else, family, you can turn off until I talk to you. Because I don't know exactly what will come out of my mouth. But I have decided to discuss this on my terms, and whatever that means is what will come out. Not for the show, but for me, because I cannot believe that someone as myself that's so emotionally aware couldn't have avoided such cliche things for so long. For me, this movement, this idea of sexual assault is not necessarily a one-time thing. It's something that I've experienced in different degrees over the course of my life, particularly in this town. When I was younger, several years ago, it was simple, whether it be a pat on the wherever, or bosses, male and female, that would not just hug me too tightly, but force their tongues in my throat, or threaten me that if I didn't let them blow me, that they would fire me. And there was a level of desire in that. You'll get into understanding that I like power play, not that power, but power play. But there was one particular instance where that wasn't really my issue, and I don't know how explicit I can get in this moment either. Like I said, I can't discuss this here before I discuss it with my mom, and that's a moment that I can't get over, and I'm trying to phrase that in a way, but I am freaking shaking just discussing a moment of my own history as if it's impossible to go through. I can't describe exactly what happened to me. What I can discuss, particularly as it relates to gay culture, is that, I question myself for why this was my first thought, or why it's just continually what I think now, but the incident itself was terrible. The main one, the worst one. But it wasn't the idea of powerlessness or it's any of that I hear on TV that I I can relate to many of those portions. Feeling like it was something that I did wrong, that it was my fault that I got too drunk and was locked in a bathroom with some guy, or whatever else happened any other time. But this one particular instance, I can't really take much credit toward blaming myself, not that I should ever. But the prevailing thought that I had afterward was that this guy might have killed me. I don't know what I caught from him. I know he wasn't safe. I don't know what he's carrying. And it wasn't that moment that I was so frightened. It was for a year afterward, when I didn't know how it might have affected my health or my psyche. It helped me to propel myself into the leather community and understand power play more like that, but it wasn't because of that, and that's not related at all in terms of the actual community. But I was so scared that he had given me something that I would live with forever, not just the memory or that feeling, but something that affected me physically for a month on PEP afterward, or trying to hide it from anyone that I knew. Like I said, I haven't discussed this with anyone but close friends. I won't discuss it more here now for ratings. But
Napoleon, I want to say, in a similar issue with Raul's issue, in sexual assault, I think what we're learning is the victim is not the criminal. You, even in this conversation, what I hear, process that you've done something wrong. And that is the focus point of, I think, what we want to concentrate on, that Dr. Ford clearly put in front of us.
The things that we hear before, and I know it's not my fault. I'm a living cliche. I never reported the man. I never, and it doesn't matter what the reasons were. I never bothered to do that. I never got much back from it. I did make sure that afterward I went back the next day, because I had left my cell phone there as I scrammed as I woke up and figured out what happened. And I made sure to punch him in the face. That's the best I can say out of it. So that jerk got at least that, and I've never gotten to punch somebody as hard as that. That's a good second first for this conversation. But these are only cliches. There's nothing new that I can add to this conversation because it is explained by so many people.
Listen, I wish there wasn't so much pressure on victims to come forward if they don't want to come forward, because unlike when you were assaulted, you have the choice at that point whether or not you want to put yourself through that pain. And you chose not to, and that is your right. And you can't beat yourself up for that.
I will, because I don't know what happened after that or from that guy.
You're right, you're right.
And sexual assault, I won't say that. It was rape. It was flat out rape. I don't like the word sexual assault here because that describes too many things. And that is a lot of experiences that I've had, but this was not that.
I want to ask other panelists, anything else that anybody else wants to say?
Well, I want to commend Napoleon on being so brave and being able to express himself right here with us, giving us the trust and showing us the desire to move forward in some healing. So my personal experience was at age 7. And as you mentioned in the clip that was replayed today from the previous episode, he said that it can be a wide range of things. It can be from anything from a pat somewhere on your body to something extremely graphic. I won't get into the details of my personal experience, but I will tell you that the experience itself gives you a whole new way of seeing life. And it's important for you to decide whether that experience is going to make you or break you. I believe Napoleon has taken a step in the direction of wanting to heal and make his life better. I have, in my mind, always said, I want to aim to please everyone, because I will result in pleasing most people. Because if you only aim to please most people, you probably end up pleasing no one. And if you walk around letting anger eat you up for experiences that have happened to you, and you aim to please no one, then you're in a very dangerous, negative zone that will keep you probably in darkness for a long time, and it is not the way to live.
Are you in a better place now?
I am in a much better place.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you. Anything else we want to
You
add?
talk about this like it's so black and white.
And it's not.
I feel like I can attribute a lot of who I am now, this angry, cynical, theoretical person, versus the SpongeBob SquarePants person that I used to be, that was happy-go-lucky and a puppy that I still feel and strive to be. But I can't blame an instance or a series of instances on that. And I feel as though, especially what I feel is my fault, is that I'm not who I want to be, and I can't say it's because of that, but I'm not as positive. Maybe it's just aging. You can tell me about that or whatever else it is. I don't know. What is it that makes you less excited for the world or fearful of other people or less trusting? What makes that happen?
I think that when you bottle it up and you keep it inside and you're not able to express it like I feel that you haven't, it triggers you and it gets you in the direction of that path that you were mentioning, that you are, having to give into certain fetishes or something or other, which you're not necessarily wrong for.
And I don't.
But that's your way of
not
coping with it.
That's not my coping mechanism.
I
The
think-
leather community,
I
the
think-
fetish community is maybe a coping mechanism,
just
but
a
it is
minute,
not unhealthy.
Just a minute. I think the powerful observation there is that what we are learning from our situation, even in the last week, is that people are at different places in their lives in dealing with sexual assault. And some people are farther along than others.
And I also want to mention, excuse me, that it's important to take note in when it happened in your life. If you were a 5-year-old compared to someone who was in their 30s, it's a very different result.
Experience,
Yes.
It's always a different experience.
I don't want to suggest that we move on. I don't want to do that in this conversation. But anything else that anybody else wants to add before?
Well, I will say this. I feel like I can never emphasize with what someone like Napoleon or Raul has gone through, which, by the way, Raul, if you are watching, you don't have anything to apologize for.
Absolutely nothing.
So-
We all love Raul Vegas.
You don't have anything to apologize for. Because I did notice that you said, Raul apologized. You don't have anything to apologize for, honey. You did what you had to do for you, and we are all supporting you. In my case, when I was about 14 or 15, I was sexually molested. However, I feel my experience is a little bit different because in my case, I was sexually molested by some guy I didn't even know when I was trying to look for a job. But I did something different than a lot of sexual abuse victims do. I immediately went and I rode my bike home and told my father. Now, my father is Jamaican. Jamaicans don't play that. And he immediately jumped out of bed and we called the cops and the guy got arrested. And with that, I think that helped empower me to not take the situation and make it traumatic for me. So I think that everybody, whether we can emphasize with Napoleon or Raul or Dr. Ford, you should be able to sympathize and understand their pain. You don't have to be in their shoes to see their pain and to be a human being. And I think that it's not just women, it is our gay community, and this is why this conversation is very important.
I have to say to everyone, we are going to move on now, but I have to say to everyone, we're putting up some information for crisis information for you, both in terms of a crisis hotline and places that you can turn to receive help. I just have to tell you, I'm proud of participating in this conversation because last week I expressed that Dr. Ford's testimony was overwhelming to me. What came out in the next days was proof that it was overwhelming to America. Whether you believe whoever or whatever you believe, it has had significant ramifications on the psyche of Americans. And equally important, we learned this week that Me Too is not a straight woman's issue. It is a human issue. And gay men and of course lesbians, etc., have faced sexual assault. And we need to talk about it frequently and often. And that's what we're doing right now on this Saturday night. So we encourage you to reach out. And Raul, again, on behalf of all of us, we love you, and the door's open for you. It's happening out whenever you're ready. Absolutely. Okay, now let's everybody take a deep breath. Okay. I am purposely going to play a game now. We are going to play This or That. It's a game that we've started in terms of encouraging our host to make a choice, this or that. For those of you that have watch parties all over the country, if you're in your living room right now watching us and you have your friends over for cocktails, play along with us, this or that. You must choose one or the other. Everybody knows the rules, right? Yes. We're all clear. Okay, let's begin our game, This or Out. First off, question. In regards to the male body, this, hair, or that, no hair. However you define that.
No hair.
No hair?
No hair.
This is like asking left hand, right hand. But if I had...
Wait, what does that mean? I don't understand.
I don't want to lose either. But if I had to, under threat of death,
This or
choose
that?
no hair.
No hair? Yeah. Anybody else?
I start with them when they have no hair. You age them through until they have a little hair and then a lot of hair. And then you get a new one when they have too much hair. And then you go along.
I always thought I wanted hair until I hit puberty at the tender age of 27. So then I realized it's not really all it's cracked up to be.
For clarification here for Aaron, you are a biological woman that transitioned into a man, and I understand the gender, but is that broadly correct, or did I just totally get it wrong?
Stabbing in the heart.
I mean, you got it right, but just in the worst possible vocabulary.
Okay, all right.
That is Al's skill set.
But I'll commend you on at least getting that right.
All right. So, and I'll agree with Napoleon. That was my
It's said
skill
with
set.
love.
Exactly.
I know.
All right. Next question. This or that? Our lifeline to the world. This, Apple, or that, Android?
Evan Katz, you once called me a robot. I'm going to vote Android.
Android, Apple.
Apple.
I was assigned Android at birth, but I'm an Apple now.
Yeah.
It's true.
Wait. Did you say you were assigned Android at birth and now you're an Apple?
Yes, that's the more polite way to put it. I won't say politically correct.
I got
because we
it.
don't like that.
In the future, we will be
As
assigned
opposed to
products like that,
biologically
too.
and
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've come to transition into accepting that Apple is just the better product.
Yes, and yes, me too. And it's why it's one of the first $1 trillion companies too. Question: Trump's philosophy. This is a complicated one on this or that. Trump's philosophy is to see what ridiculous lies he can make his base believe. So, with that said, this: the ability to always be believed when you tell the truth, or that: the ability to never get caught in a lie. This or that?
The ability to be believed when you tell the truth.
Yes.
I mean, it's all, the foundation is building in trust for people, and if you want to be someone who has a high position in life, whether it be the presidency of the United States or anything, or you want to make sure that your personal relationships survive, you build trust.
Okay.
Living a life of virtue. I choose the same thing, but that's only because I'm a very good liar, so people would always believe me.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And it would make my life a lot easier and a lot safer if people would just believe me when I say what I am and who I am.
Do you frequently find as a trans American that you're not believable?
Oh, every day, every moment of every day, I'm faced with the question of whether or not someone's going to take me for face value or challenge everything that I am.
Wow.
For me, I would I would choose being believed when I say something. It would really save me a lot of scalping and reading online if people would just listen to me the first motherfucking time I said something.
All I heard was, I'm gonna cut you with your power.
Power I have to share. In honesty, I'm not even going to answer the question, but in pursuit of truth, Power is one of my favorite voices in social media. Thank you very much. Santiago Hermes, he's painting right now. This, owning a Santiago Hermes painting, or that, spending a day in his home in Cuba watching him paint. This or that?
Oh, spending a day in Cuba watching him paint, of course. I mean, that building that bond is priceless.
That's it, yes.
Child, please. I've already spent a day with Santiago Hermes. I'd rather own one of his paintings because I know it's going to bring me ducats and dollars.
Fair enough. I've watched enough drag queens paint, so why not a world famous artist?
Right?
I have enough stuff, and I'm told that everyone in Cuba is gay at sunset, so let's go to Cuba, let's watch him, let's explore.
Cuba.
That was from Al.
Yeah, thank you. All right, next question. Music, bedroom, take your pick of the criteria of either one, fellas.
Bedroom music.
This, Adam Lambert, or that, Sam Smith?
Sam Smith.
You don't agree? You're Adam Lambert?
It'd be
Really?
a hot power struggle, and I can't deal with the feelings that Sam Smith would catch the next day.
And they're all about a breakup too. Like, why do you want that as your? I mean, that's your bedroom scene. I'm
For
gonna.
me, it would be Adam Lambert because Sam Smith tried to come slick out the mouth about Michael Jackson. And I don't play that.
That's really good. All right, next question. This or that. Last week we had a fantasy battle. This week, let's see where we fall on science fiction. And this is deeply personal to me. This, Star Wars, or that, Star Trek?
Star Trek for me because I grew up with Captain Kirk and William Shatner. So
I grew up with Star Wars, so I'm gonna go with that.
The one with Charles Xavier in it?
Okay. Where was I even going? Star Trek was invented by a wizard who wanted to reshape America's world or worldview of what the future could be. Star Trek. Star Wars is depressing and technology is evil.
How is it possible that a 1960s icon of Captain Kirk was so damn sexy and he got the girl every single week, and then they made the new movies and made James T. Kirk even sexier?
Chris Pine,
Star
welcome.
Trek.
Come on board. I'll show you around.
Gay men and the gym. This, arm day, or that, leg day?
Leg day. You know, I don't want to ever be seen as lazy, so, and that's one of the hardest muscles to work. So I'm going in for leg day.
Oh, shut up.
leg day for me because I am a leg man. I love legs. Legs turn me on. So
It all depends. Are y'all gonna let me in the locker room, or?
We'll let you in. Come on.
All right, since I have to choose, I'm gonna say arms because I love a nice firm set of arms.
Yes, but it's your own work of
Well,
arms that this is talking
Well,
about.
and I would like to have some someday, so.
It's about our own bodies. Okay, so if you guys like and subscribe to this show, I'll make sure I wear shorts one time and you can see why I vote legs.
All right. Arm for sure. Arm, please, God. And I've gotten really much better in the last 2 years on it. Question. It's happening out wants to become this. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, or that. Real Time with Bill Maher. What do we want to be?
I hope John Oliver.
I envision
This
John Oliver. Yeah.
I've only seen Bill Maher, so I'm gonna go with him.
Okay.
We want to be topical, we want to be funny, we want to make an impact, therefore we have to be John Oliver. But Bill Maher, still have us on your show.
John Oliver is one of the brightest men I've ever seen. Amazing. All right. Thanks for
So
playing
funny.
this or that. Now, let's move on. Kind of a serious gay pop culture question. This always shocks me when I'm in the bar and I talk to guys. This is what I always hear. PrEP is the fastest growing prescription in the gay community. The AIDS crisis of the 80s and 90s, I went to, well, I won't even say it. The AIDS crisis of the 80s and 90s seems to be forgotten by young gay America. So the question is PrEP enough? Condoms or no condoms? What do y'all think?
Well, I've had the opportunity to attend many events for an incredible organization called Latino Salute, and they have
I've heard of it.
Yes, they have an event right now currently called Diverse Safe, and there's a million reasons why condoms still need to play a role, and I agree.
Yes, Mom, when you end up watching eventually in 2 years, you'll be happy to know that always a condom. Fetish play is all about safe, sane, consensual, or risk-aware consensual kink. But I've got to say, a condom, until I can spell super gonorrhea, I don't want to catch it.
Wait. Both observations are great. I hear both of them. But you don't get to the real point of the question, which is, why is young gay men not using condoms? Why are they not?
I don't know. They're stupid. That's all I can think.
Why aren't they? Besides that reason.
I think they're not being, it's not that they're not aware, it's just that maybe psychological, emotional things are leading them to not care.
They think they're safe forever.
I hear
If I'm
young gay men
honest-
say, "Oh, it doesn't feel as good."
Okay, if I'm honest, I think that a lot of guys don't like to use condoms because not only the feel, but the fantasy. They want to bring that fantasy to life, and the fantasy in a utopian gay world for a lot of young men or a lot of men is to have sex bareback. I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything that people might gag, but if you're honest with yourself, it's true. So they are not using condoms because it's just not their utopian fantasy. When you look at a lot of the porn that inspires a lot of gay sex, a lot of it is bareback sex, but then you go to hang out with your friends and you'll be like, oh, of course, condom. As soon as you get with somebody and it's just you and them and a closed door, it's, we could scrub it.
It's an interesting point. I have a very good friend that is a director in both straight and gay pornography, adult films. And he has an absolute policy of doing no film production without the use of condoms. But he has said over the last 5 years, he has stressed closer and closer to having to participate in bareback sex films because people purchasing it or online, however you consume it, absolutely do not want to see a condom. And he is pressured to decide, do I commit to what I know is right or to the financial pressure?
Do I endanger the lives of the people involved?
Exactly.
And the people watching?
Exactly.
Or make it
Do
fun?
we have any role in terms of voicing to young gay men, use a goddamn condom?
And know your status in the first place.
And know your status
Get
too.
checked.
Yes.
Yeah,
Jesus.
get checked, right?
Don't be afraid. You have to know.
So wait, I want to make sure that I'm clear here because I want to raise an angry voice. I'm not being a damn old gay guy by saying use a fucking condom. Am I doing that?
Well,
No,
yes,
you-
but we're also saying if he's right, use a fucking condom.
All right, I'm going to be the dissenting opinion here.
Okay.
The DeSantis opinion?
The dissenting opinion.
Oh.
I believe that gay men should know their status. I believe that they should be educated on the benefits of a condom, the pros and cons. That being said, I personally don't feel comfortable trying to tell somebody how they should have sex or what they should do in their bedroom. So, you should know the facts. PrEP is 92 to 99% effective. It is not effective against gonorrhea, chlamydia, other STIs. And as an adult, know that, and then you make your decision. I don't want to say it's power infinity. I don't want to preach to anybody. So you make the decision that is best for you.
Great
That's
point.
But I will.
Absolutely.
Risk-aware, consensual kink, whatever it is, be aware of what you're doing if you're going to do it.
Okay.
Use a condom.
All right. Thank you. Good observations. We're going to do, in coming weeks, a new segment called Headlines. And we're just going to do a real quick check-in on some of the big issues that are going on right now live in America. Headlines. Let's check in on these issues. First headline I want to bring to your attention. Biggest scam in history. Donald Trump's father creates a corporate shell game with $413 million going to the Donald, all completely secret. Headline, observations?
The New York Times spent, what, a year gathering doing their research and putting this report together. There is absolutely nothing that could be reported about Donald Trump that I wouldn't believe unless it was good. That being said, if Donald Trump wants to refute this, he could, of course, sue them, but then that would mean that he might be forced to reveal his taxes, right?
Exactly.
And so I don't think he's going to do that. So I guess he's just going to have to grin and bear this one.
Exactly. That's the issue of the headline. Next headline. At 2:18 yesterday, the president tested the brand new emergency broadcast notification system to every phone in America. Observations on the headline?
Welcome to Soviet America.
Well, I didn't get
what it
one.
said.
I didn't get one either.
So I think that they should. I don't know. I don't mind getting one. I mean, I think that that's something that could be useful. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
Next headline. Today, the U.S. Senate got the FBI report of the Judicial Supreme Court nomination without any interview of Judge Kavanaugh or without the interview of Dr. Ford. That's a big headline.
And how can they call it investigative in the first place?
If
It's not a complete report then.
yeah. So, okay. Well, we're going to talk more about that in another game that we play. Headline: Melania's first solo international visit to the Donald's shithole countries.
And she gave out white dolls to black babies.
Okay.
To a shithole country.
right.
Maybe she needed to take a dump, and we all know Trump only likes number one. So there you go.
Okay, big news this week. We're going to talk more about headlines in brief fashions in the weeks to come. Let's do a current event topic. The new term of the gay community is no longer LGBT. Discussions are now underway to change it to, are you ready for this? LGBTQQIAAP. Meaning, lesbian, everyone here at Drink has just gasped. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, transsexual, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, ally, pansexual. Question: what do you think of this new term of our gay community?
Ridiculous.
Yes, I agree.
Okay,
The only people you're leaving out are the straight people.
Look.
Well,
look.
and they're allies.
Right.
So
well,
we didn't even leave them out.
Okay. First of all, anybody that follows me knows that this is a big deal with me. It's a big deal. I sound off about this all the time. First of all, I ain't trying to walk around with, I'm not trying to walk around with a oxygen tank just to spit all them letters out. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think that we are a community that we're known for our wit, our creativeness, our cleverness, our color. So a community that is known for all these things, you mean to tell me we can't find a way to represent all these branches in our family without listing every single letter in the alphabet and then Greek letters? I think that's ridiculous.
Okay.
I personally, myself, and a lot of people have started using the acronym SAGA, which means Sexuality and Gender Acceptance.
That's so similar to MAGA.
For that, you could put all of us, for me, under one umbrella without using 3 billion letters, and I think it sounds witty, I think it sounds cool, I think it sounds clever, and I just think that you save yourself, from having a stroke trying to fit in all those letters.
You'd say SAGA before saying the SAGA of LGBTQIAAP.
I'm not saying it.
What was it? Crap.
Okay, listen. Y'all are so obsessed with not changing your letters that you've completely missed the point that it's about respecting people's identities. How many of you even know what intersex means? Do you know what intersex means?
I do
What?
not know
Yes.
Okay, I believe that you do, because I believe you and I have had it out on exactly this
Yes.
issue before on
Yes,
social media.
we
I'm glad
have.
that the keyboard is gone
You
now.
two have fought on social media?
Oh yes.
Really? I didn't
Plenty
know
of
that.
time.
Who won?
I'm scared of Power Infinity. There's never a winner,
Yes.
honestly.
Yeah, okay.
But I ain't scared of no Power Infinity.
All right,
Let's
so,
talk.
but your point is, we need to represent all of these people?
With the math equation.
Wait,
It's not
hold
about
on.
it's not about the letters, it's not about the equation, it's about, are we respecting people for who they are and their identities? And first of all, I think we need to start acting like a community before we argue over what we're going to call the community. Let's start with that.
I've been, people have pushed back on me with that same point, and my point is, I am not anti-representing or respecting everybody's identity in the community. But my point is, for example, our name is It's Happening Out.
Right.
But to that point, we could just say our name is Power Infinity, C.A. Lopez, Al Ferguson, Aaron Phoenix, and Napoleon Plays. I mean, there is a more creative way to call ourselves than listing every single name. And I think there is a more creative way to call our community. If you have to do it like that, then listing every single letter
Well, you know,
Of course,
that
Napoleon
represents
Plays and
every
Friends.
single.
That's obviously the right answer.
Well, Napoleon, you brought up on a previous episode. Yes, I've watched the previous episodes. I'm a
Good
fan.
for
I'm a
you.
fan. But you brought up the fact that these letters are really only put together because they're put together. What brings us together as a community in the first place? Well, the reason we're grouped together is the fact that the straight, cisgender, mainstream world oppresses us and discriminates against us. That's the only thing that brings us together. So rather than discriminating against each other, we need to find a way, and I agree with you, Power, completely, and I support the saga term, except that it sounds so similar to MAGA, which bugs me. But we need to find a way to, like I said, all come together as a community, and part of that, and I think this is where the letter thing comes in, is that we need to learn about each other. If you don't know what the word intersex means, if you don't know what an asexual person is, or what kind of relationships they might have, then how can you sit there and say, no, I'm throwing it away, I don't want to hear about it, I don't want to talk about it. You need to, at least, if you're not going to understand the letters, which I don't either, I'll give you that, but you need to at least be able to learn about each other and demystify each other and embrace each other.
It's a very, very interesting point. I agree with you. I want to move on because the length of the labeling of the tribes in the gay community have made me thirsty. And so we're going to play a game that we play, and we're going to do it a little bit different this week. I give everybody in the bar heads up, and all of our viewing parties that are happening around America, have your beverages, your adult beverages ready, because we're getting ready to play a fun game called Drinks Drink with a new twist. Before we do that, let's watch about Drinks Drink.
Hey everybody, my name is Frank. I work at Drink, the hottest bar in Fort Lauderdale. Nothing better. This place is amazing. It's hip, it's happening. We do a lot of craft cocktails. It's a fun place to hang out. First, I'm gonna make for you from our new drink menu. It's the Drink Pink cocktail. It's gonna be Grey Goose, the pear. It's got strawberries. We're gonna muddle them up. And I'm gonna say mama. And if anyone really knows what I'm talking about, you'll laugh. Hey mama. Hit it with some ice. Grey Goose the pear. I like the same practice like I do at home. Nice long strokes there. We use Prosecco, which is Martini Rossi. If you guys are in town on Fridays and Saturdays, the best happy hour. We go till 8 o'clock. It's a lot of fun. So we have our drink, a little strawberry. Enjoy.
The drink looks delicious. It's called Drink Pink, and we're going to play Drinks Drink. Now what happens is this is kind of an agree or disagree game. I'm going to ask you a question. If you agree to it, you pick your drink up and you take a sip and then put your drink down. This week it is not completely silent. We allow you to briefly, if you have something interesting to say about the question that we ask, we encourage you to share it. Everybody understand our rules?
Yeah.
This week's Drink, and here in the bar and also at home, we encourage you to play, and we're going to continue continue to do this. So your viewing parties, participate with us in an adult beverage. First question. In honor of our guest host with us tonight, people care way too much about what bathroom a transgendered person uses. Do you agree or or disagree?
I disagree because I think.
Wait.
Child, my
All right,
straw.
you
I can't drink out of my straw.
It's paper. All right, go ahead.
I think that we're
It's
carrying the right
blocked.
amount. I think we should care more about what's, and give it more attention and sort it out and figure out what we're going to do with it.
I just want it private and clean. That's all.
Hold on, so trans women are being murdered at alarming rates, and you think we should care more about where I pee? Or am I understanding correctly?
No. I'm saying that we need to figure it out. So we haven't yet.
Is
and
the
I think it's a
bathroom
very,
important
I think it's a very important
What do we need to
issue.
figure out?
The people to understand why it is that we shouldn't have separations in bathrooms, or you see what I'm saying? Like we don't need to give it as much importance, and people need to learn about it. We need to talk about it. We need to give it more emphasis.
I do think we need to get further into the root of the issue of how gender in the first place puts us in these weird predicaments that are just harming people in the end.
Instead of
I'll give you
bathrooms
that.
themselves.
I'm going to push us on. Next question. We're queer. We're here. Get used to it. Purple is an overrated color.
No.
Purple is an overrated color.
Did we get these purple flowers as a
Everybody
point for this?
loves the color purple.
Yes,
I'm taking.
the color purple.
All right,
That's a totally
next
different
question. What turns us on? Men's wrestling is very homoerotic, and I would like to watch more of it.
Okay.
Really? I mean, you can be so much more creative than wrestling.
I said,
You can get super creative in
Way
wrestling,
more
let me tell you that. Wrestling is a broad
Especially
category.
WWF fake wrestling. That's the best.
it's WWE.
There is some, I like the
I'll show you some good wrestling if you need
so
to
I've
know
been
that.
told.
Just sort of shade my way on getting that label right. Okay. All right, next question. Vanity, vanity. I am better looking than the person to my right.
I'm not, and we're going to be invited back.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like a bad person
How can I beat
as
this?
I do this.
Well, I could certainly beat this.
I was so ready for our role to be next to me. Now I feel like I'm making a political statement.
Props by not picking up my drink. My new
Way to
friend
impress.
just bitch slaps me.
Listen, it doesn't matter who's next to me, I'm always going to be better looking.
Oh, if that's the case, then I won't feel badly about it
All
anymore.
right, Jen.
Cheers.
All right, we're moving on. Next question. Social nonsense or social change? Black Lives Matter has made a difference. Okay.
Good impact.
It's been important. But it hasn't gotten any result.
That's why I didn't pick up. Question. What turns us on? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
I'm ready for that.
All right. No, I'm not going to ask that question. Question. Last week we talked about how awesome hugs can be in the gay community. So with that said, I have hugged someone today. You know I'm going to quickly. Oh, good. That's great. Cheers, everybody. We're gay. We hug.
I'm getting a strawberry
I got somebody to
stuck in my
hug me
straw.
that doesn't normally hug.
Excellent.
I don't hug because I'm gay, I hug because I'm needy.
Okay. Question. More of last week's sex study. Let's zero in. I am satisfied with my sex life.
He always with the sex.
Ooh. Napoleon, you're not satisfied with your sex life?
I'm having all the good stuff only.
I see. Okay.
No water filler for me.
We are watching Santiago Hermes paint live in the studio. Art is underappreciated by the gay community in this day and age. We're creative, but we are underappreciative. As the world turns, Kavanaugh will be confirmed.
He thought.
You don't think he will? Don't boo, vote.
I've already cried earlier today. I don't need to.
Don't boo, vote.
I don't know.
This is the reality. Welcome to America,
We wouldn't have
2018.
gotten this far if it wasn't already decided.
Question. Last week I admitted in Facebook, in a Facebook Live video, that I love to sing in the car. And I especially love to do it to Elton John. So here it is for all of us. I sing in the car when I'm by myself.
Or with anybody else.
Really? Everybody does it.
Gotta rehearse for karaoke.
I thought I was a freak.
More red light lip sync.
My friend CA is a very good karaoke singer, by the way.
Thank you.
Question. He is making America great again. Kanye West is an idiot.
Oh, child.
He is.
It's not my lane.
He would not have gotten where he was if he was just an idiot. I cannot support it all I want, but he got wherever the hell he is now and has far too much support. But he's there.
I don't like
Banking
Kanye
on the
right
red
there.
line.
Okay, all right.
idiot.
So that's Drinks Drink. We hope you'll continue to play with us each week, and we'll make it a lot of fun. I want to move on to something that is whimsical, more whimsical. Now this is interesting. The new Ken doll, has it become gay? Mattel launched this week a new Barbie and Ken line called Fashionistas. Gay men fashion conscious dolls, including Slim Twink, Husky Bear, and more. Seriously. Question. So did Barbie's boyfriend just become her new GBFF? Her gay best friend forever.
It nowhere says that these dolls are gay. It just happens to be that they're fashionable. The first thing that I saw when I saw it was this one has a giant head, and I identify myself in it. Are we pulling out the dolls? I'll do that. I've been waiting for this all day. Oh wait! I want this one. This one was me. He's a pineapple under the sea, and he's got an enormous head.
This is Husky Ken. Husky Ken.
Sort of.
You know the body type that they've made dolls that have 23-inch waist and 52-inch chest? No, that's not what they did here. Husky Ken. He's a bear.
I mean, is he though? He's not much thicker than this guy.
I think there's just more competition now. I'm all
I like
for
that one
competition.
more.
Well, if you shave this one's head, it would be Power Ken.
So while we're talking about dolls and integrity, I hear that Integrity Toys has a new RuPaul doll, Al, that they've designed, and I'm still waiting for my old one, Al.
Yes, I have
If it's
RuPaul
coming.
dolls. All signed. All signed.
I still don't see a penis on these dolls. I think these are trans boy Ken dolls. I don't need a doll who looks like me.
I think a better question would be has Ken gotten a new beard? You know.
Oh,
I like that his clothes come
I
off
was
in the
like,
back.
doesn't have a beard.
But first off, what you're watching live in a live gay talk show is all of the gay men and trans men are fascinated by playing with the dolls as opposed to the point behind the dolls, which is, are we watching something new in American society that fashionista boy dolls are A-okay?
I think it's just another indication that America is opening its doors and its heart to our gay culture. I don't think it's anything new because as we progress, we see more and more of these things, and the fact that our gay culture seems to be going more mainstream is an absolute reason for celebration.
And maybe not just gay culture, but the lessening of the harshness of gender roles and not holding people to such harsh, ideas of what they should be based on their sex.
I would live.
Love that
I would actually live for
love
them.
that. I hope that was heard really clearly.
I would live for them to have to come out with a trans doll, but I don't know how they would really do that.
You just gotta add a couple lines on the chest on this one. He looks just like me.
I want to figure out.
Oh, wait!
I'm not gonna show you on
Wait.
camera because it's a little vulgar,
It's
but
just like you.
just saying. We're not gonna talk about how he
Read
knows
between
that.
the lines here.
We said earlier that the demystification of the trans community is part of our goal with Aaron. So you identified us as gay men, and then you specified trans men.
I know.
How does that? What is that?
We're going to work on this demystification thing because I said to Aaron when we talked about this, I said, I'm going to offend you. And you're going to tell me when it's offensive, but I'm not going to worry about offending you because I'm not going to be politically correct. Your observation is absolutely a bullet, Napoleon.
Yeah.
Anything else about Ken? I want to tell you one interesting thing. When I heard this news, somebody in production, Frank Garcia, told us about it and go to Target. And I went to Target. I almost never go into Target. They have this long section in their toys on Barbie. Barbie's a big deal. Barbie and Ken is a big toy. I bought two. And I went to the front of the store. Now, admittedly, we're here in Wilton Manors, Florida, the gayest place on the planet. But there was a woman in front of me in her 20s with a 4-year-old boy, her son, in the cart. And there was a 50-something-year-old woman that was the cash register agent. And I pulled out the two dolls and put them on the conveyor belt, and both of them simultaneously, I'm not kidding you, both of them reached in and picked up the dolls and simultaneously said, "What are these?" And I explained what was going on with them. The mother, the 20-something-year-old mother with the 4-year-old son in the cart said, "How awesome is that?" in front of her 4-year-old boy. And simultaneously, the 50-something young woman that was the cash register agent at Target said, totally off the top of her head, not even, I was of no consequence, said, "It's about time."
Good.
And I thought, awesome. We for sure want to congratulate Mattel for this move of fashionista.
And they're so pretty.
Can we keep these?
You
Eyebrows are
cannot.
perfect.
I'm sure Frank Garcia would be very upset.
Oh, it's Frank.
Frank, what are you doing with these dolls?
We right, exactly. All right. Well, we want to go to Santiago Hermes and show you a bit of what has been going on through the hour. As I told you, Santiago was very important to the gay community. He has painted a series since Pulse called Top Hat Eddie. And we have a friend of mine with Santiago. If Alejandro would stand up, we're going to ask Santiago a couple of questions here, and we're going to give Santiago a few minutes here. I would say to you first, Santiago speaks only Spanish, so Alejandro is going to be translating for us. As I said, Santiago runs a program, a cultural program in Cienfuegos, Cuba. When I met him about almost 3 years ago, Santiago said, as far as I knew, I had never met a gay person, much less a gay American when I came. And thousands of people have come to his studio. So, first and foremost, please, everybody give a big round of applause of welcoming Santiago. So Alejandro is with us now, and we wanted to talk to Santiago about what he has done here. Power, you want to start and kick this off?
Yes, well, first of all, I'm very honored and very glad to have you on our soil now. Myself and Al went to Cuba, and we had the pleasure of being with Santiago and his beautiful wife, who is here with him, as well as Alejandro that day. I wanted to ask Santiago, as an artist, what inspires him? I mean, does he ever get a lag in creativity, or is he always inspired?
And we have to use the microphone up to his mouth, and then yours.
Sí, tengo impulsos de creatividad, más bien.
He says yes, he has, for the moment, he have, the power comes in and he have creativity powers that comes to his head, so.
I want to ask about the painting that he has done. This painting was created in this hour. Explain to us what he has done here.
Yes.
And perhaps move to the side a little so everyone at home can see this painting.
Bueno, el Pulse fue una experiencia realmente increíblemente dura para todos nosotros.
Pulse was a very hard experience for all of us.
Primero porque fueron muchas las víctimas en esa masacre que nunca debió suceder.
First, because there were many of us that were victim of this event, and that should have never happened.
Pero se vuelve muy doloroso cuando sabes que una persona que conoces pues se encuentra en esa situación, y ese fue el caso de Eddie Sotomayor.
And it's double painful when somebody that you know and you're familiar with or connected, it's been the victim on this situation.
Por ese motivo, pues vio la luz esta serie de obras que bajo la inspiración de su persona.
And that has been the main engine in terms of the creation of this amazing collection.
Pues se titula Top Hat Eddie y es precisamente dedicada a él.
It's called Top Up Eddie, and it's mainly dedicated to Eddie Sotomayor and also for all of those that were victim on the Pulse event.
Sé que muchas de las personas que están aquí hoy pues fueron amigos de él, y quiero compartir en este momento precisamente lo que realmente siento, ¿no? Un gran dolor por su pérdida.
This painting, it's a good way to express the pain that I'm still feeling about Eddie's loss.
Sin embargo, Eddie me parece que está entre nosotros hoy.
Although I think Eddie is between us now and always.
Él ya se ha convertido en algo más que una persona. Él hoy es un símbolo de unión, de amistad, y es como un puente de comunicación entre muchas de las personas que lo conocimos.
Eddie has become a bridge and a strong union between us.
Y esta pintura pues está precisamente inspirada en todo esto que está sucediendo.
And this painting is mainly inspired in how I feel about everything that have happened right now in this moment.
Okay.
Cool. Anybody else want to ask Santiago anything?
Sure. At what age did you do your first painting?
Your microphone.
Bueno, desde muy pequeño estoy pintando. Pero ya profesionalmente, después que me gradué en 1990, pues realicé mi primera pintura en ese año. Tenía 20 años.
At the age of 20.
Okay.
Cool. Anyone else?
What do you want?
1990.
In 1919. So.
Cool. What do you want other people to understand from your Pulse Memorial?
Lo primero que me parece que es muy importante es que las personas que no comparten este tipo de orientación, pues sencillamente puedan entender que somos todos iguales, que no hay ninguna diferencia, que todos tenemos el derecho de pensar y obrar según nuestro propio criterio.
I think that everybody have the right to be themselves, and kind of that's it.
Sí. No hay ninguna razón para que las personas nos sintamos diferentes unas de otras, sino que todos somos iguales.
And there's no reason for one people to feel different than the other. I think we're all human beings and we're all considered the same.
Thank Santiago Ormez and Mary to come to the United States from Cuba. I encourage everyone that's listening to us to go to Cuba. Magnificent things are happening there. They have one of the richest arts communities in the world on the island. And the president of Cuba has recently called for same-sex marriage to be legalized in Cuba. And they have one of the most liberal policies and acceptance of the gay culture in Cuba. of any country in Latin America, which is wonderful. We point out in terms of this painting, we're supplying some information for you to help support Santiago Hermes and his artistic efforts in Cienfuegos. If you would like to help contribute, we're going to make sure that we are able to do that. Over the last couple of years since Pulse, we have been able to do significant things for him, and we are going to provide information in terms of this painting and others in terms of how you can support the creative community that goes on with Santiago in Cienfuegos. Santiago, we thank you very much on behalf of everybody at It's Happening Out. Before we end our show tonight, we want to tell you that next Thursday night, we're going to be taking the show on the road. First time ever, we're going to be going to Orlando Pride. The largest pride in the fall is in Orlando, and we're going to be celebrating with them. And we are going to be doing the show at the world famous Parliament House. Yeah. And we're going to be on the stage at the Footlight Theater, and we have lots of special guests coming. I'm not even going to reveal it. It is really great in terms of what we're going to do, and that will be next Thursday night, October 11th, 8 p.m. live. So, we appreciate you being with us tonight. This was a difficult show to do. Lots of technical things that were difficult. We congratulate our production team that has put on the show tonight, and we hope that you have found us to be entertaining and informative and educational. And we want to suggest to you that you share It's Happening Out with your friends. We have a great commitment to making this as good as possible for the gay culture of America. So, on behalf of my friends here on this panel, Power Infinity.
Good night, children.
C.A. Lopez.
Buenas noches, America.
Aaron Phoenix.
Good night, gender benders.
And Napoleon Plays.
Good night, Pulse.
We want to remind you that our gay culture is very, very important and centric, because if it's happening in our gay world, it's happening out. We thank you for joining us tonight, and good night, America.